vessel for you to get attention. Okay, cool. And she's in a position where she can't be like, I don't want to talk about that, because then it becomes, Margaret Qualley doesn't want to talk about Taylor Swift. Is there bad blood there? Jack Antonoff's not producing the album. Maybe their friendship has turned into a blank space. Shut up! Or look at this dumbass. Sorry, I'm going a little hard. Some of these people are dumbasses. This is a dude sitting in front of Austin Butler and Zoe Kravitz for a Darren Aronofsky film. And look at the question he asks Zoe Kravitz.
Austin Taylor's house?
Yeah, man.
You're everywhere too.
Yeah, we're doing a press tour, you know?
Yeah. You just gotta put it all out there. All out there.
He asks Zoe Kravitz another question about Taylor Swift because she was photographed in her house or some bullshit. Who gives a fuck? Instead of asking any insightful questions about the movie. And look at the vibe. Like, this is so not how you should be talking to somebody that you're interviewing, especially for a movie like this.
Oh, have you heard the new album?
I've heard bits of it.
It's good.
It's fantastic.
I'm hearing it's a banger.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
No skips.
All right, good to know. No skips. Whew, that's rare.
The fuck are you at? Like, they're clearly disengaged with it, and he's sitting there so fake. So fake. By the way, have you heard the new album? Oh, no skips. Oh, that's rare. Be a real person and ask a fucking question that matters for once in your goddamn career. Why the fuck are you asking about a Taylor Swift album when it is Austin Butler and Zoe Kravitz promoting a Darren Aronofsky film? Ask a question about the art. Sorry. This is the first section. There's so many sections to get to. I'm just getting pissed because as you can see, I really hate the influencerification of press junkets. It grinds me and it grates me whenever I see one of these fake ass fuckers over familiarly asking a question to an A-list actor that is clearly designed just to go on TikTok and not actually investigate anything about what the people in front of you have poured into for like a fucking year. People put years into a movie. You sit there in front of them and you have I'm gonna calm down. And you have the opportunity to ask a few questions about it, and instead of trying to develop anything that means anything, you are just going for open for a TikTok like, oh, she said something about Taylor Swift. That's gonna be Swifties are gonna love that. Shut the fuck up. So I said I was gonna calm down. Calm down. It's just that these questions became the only questions being asked by those influencers. And influencers became the majority at the press junkets, to the point that Ibn Masbakra walks in and goes, "What's up, influencers? What's up, influencers?" Because that is what it is. That's what the whole thing is. And he's calling out the elephant in the room, which is that the journalism in the press junkets has been completely devalued and cast aside in favor of quick hits of dopamine on the fucking algorithm. It just makes me so depressed. It's so monkey in a cage, poke with a stick. Hey, look at Labubu. What do you think of Labubu? Give me clicks. Labubu. Meryl Streep, what do you think of Labubu Awala Dubai Chocolate? Meryl Streep. But that's just press junkets. That's not all of Hollywood. That's just press junkets. And that's the first step into what the second part is going to be about, which is the fact that journalists and critics are actually held to standards. They actually have standards that they are held to, that influencers are not held to, and influencers are coming up, get 300,000 likes on TikTok, they get invited to a red carpet premiere, and then they are asked, I am not sure if you're aware of this, but this is a genuine thing that is happening in Hollywood, where there are two separate review embargoes, one for influencers and one for critics, meaning that studios now will release influencers who see their film at like a big screening that they invite them to. They will allow them to go and tweet their thoughts on the movie so that is the buzz, that is the hype. And then days later, they lift the critic embargo, where actual critics are then allowed to go and talk about the movie. There are many instances of this that we can look at. And again, look, I love Barbie. I love Barbie so much. But there was an article written in The Guardian that I remember reading, and I found it again here, that shocked me. Look at this. The quote is, "Feel free to share your positive feelings about the film on Twitter after the screening," said the usher introducing the London press preview screening of Barbie. And again, I love Barbie. It's a great movie. It's not just Barbie. This article is about Barbie. It just happened to be a great movie, but this is happening to every movie. Feel free to share your positive feelings on Twitter. The article continued right after that and said the embargo for reviews, however, would not be lifted until 2 days later. At this point, I think it is important to differentiate what is a critical review and what is an influencer review, because when you look at it, a lot of the influencer reviews might come across to you like, oh, but this is from a critic. For example, there's this article written by The Wrap that is really good, and in it, the writer Drew Taylor says that for Borderlands, this movie right here, horrible, but for that movie, Lionsgate put in place a system that allowed for critical response only after influencers could share their presumably more positive take. The studio said that social reactions could be shared on August 6th. However, the critical social sentiment and critical review embargo wouldn't lift until 2 days later on August 8th, the day before the film's release. And I went and I found an article that was written on August 7th before the critical embargo was released post because I wanted to see what this social first strategy resulted in. My theory being influencers want to continue being invited to these things, so they will say nice things so that the studio invites them, because influencers are easily dazzled, easily wooed, and if they're not, they'll just replace them with somebody who is. This is a tweet that came out from that press screen. Okay, the hashtag Borderlands movie was better than I expected, but I went in expecting a 6 out of 10. So they're saying it's at least a 7 out of 10. It has a 10% on Rotten Tomatoes. Or look at this one. Jack Black's Claptrap is the standout of the film. Comedy gold with fun action sequences. The audience will eat him up. Crowd-pleasing adaptation that's faithful to the legacy of the games while also defining Borderlands for a new generation. What was the rating? Oh, 10%. Okay, and was it actually a 10%? No, it was definitely worse than 10%. It was horrible. Horrible. It's not just Borderlands though. I don't know if y'all remember when The Flash came out. One of the worst superhero movies I've ever seen in my entire life. So dog shit bad. And look at some of the influencer reviews before the critical embargo was released. Hashtag The Flash is a fun, back to the future superhero movie that's epic and emotional with big blockbuster action and bigger heart. Michael Keaton's Batman Return tops off one of DC's best movies.
What?